microphone is a little bit far away from my mouth. I'm sorry. I will fix it. We've done a rearranging of sorts. Yes, we have. We've moved some stuff around to make more room. We also had to bring back the couch, which is totally awesome. We had to bring back the couch. This couch has a tale behind it. If you've ever subscribed to our other channel, Preach and Ghost, there is a video of how we collected this couch. And, of course, from the drug dealer who let us buy it off him. What a guy. What a guy. It's a drug dealer's couch. It's so comfortable. It's ridiculous. I apologise for the very late warning yesterday about there being no daily. It's kind of shitty. We had to sort of emergency cut Ben's knackers off. Anybody who watches the pre-stream will have seen a wonderful video of Ben looking so sorry for himself. Oh, it's so sad. It's the saddest thing in the universe. But unfortunately, it had to be done. Yeah, one of those things. And it was very, very last minute. He essentially is the softest dog in the world, but has become very protective of the house. Like, super protective. And when the gas man came to read the meter, he almost bit him. I have never seen Ben react like that in my life. It is, of course, possible that he just didn't like this guy. That's not really an excuse. He literally turned into a nasty dog. And he's never done that before. And he was going to bite him if I didn't drag him off. I was a bit like, whoa. Whoa, you don't do that, Ben. What the fuck is going on? It was a little bit crazy. This guy was like, oh, I've been bit before. And I was that guy. I was that guy who says things like, my dog has never done this before. And you know the guy was going, yeah, sure, okay. So we phoned a couple of guys who were like, yeah, you need to get him castrated. It was a bit last minute, but he got done. He got done. It was expensive too, £140. What the fuck, man? £140. But it is surgery, I guess. But yeah, so he's been done, and he's the saddest dog in the world. Good news! The daily is back. Yay! And it will be tomorrow. Yay! I don't have very many good drama stories for tomorrow, so send me some. Easy fix, right? Send me some drama stories. I've been reading through the ones I've been sent, and they're kind of like loot dramas and stuff. So send me some, please. Send me some. Other good news. I have a Warlock. I was on it today. The wonderful people in Stark saw me playing a Warlock. Yay! Yay! I was waiting on a guy who is a friend of mine and has been a friend of mine since Vanilla and pre-Vanilla. He was a long, long time friend of mine and has always been a Warlock. I don't really play with him anymore. He works a lot. I don't get to see him as much as I would like. I don't think we've spoken over voice comms. And he's from Britain. He lives in England. For months. Absolutely months. But he messaged me saying, dude, I've capped my Warlock. I didn't even see you online, but he's capped. Do you want to use it? I was like, well, yeah. I prefer to use somebody I know's account, obviously. And then because he was working, I couldn't get hold of him. And then the account locked. He sent me the details. I logged in. The account locked. I had to wait for him to unlock it. But now it's all good. I've been playing it today. I'm quite looking forward to doing it. Although Warlocks, I've been very sour taste in my mouth after my method experience. I didn't realise how much I disliked Warlocks. I don't particularly like casters in general. Although Fire Mage, obviously, is just the exception to the rule. But in general, I don't really like casters. I've always been a bit of a melee character. Be it tank or DK, whatever it might be. And after playing a Warlock on progression and for an extended period of time as a main, I never really liked the Warlock. I kind of went off it, but I was kind of forced to play it as well, which is never nice. Being forced to play something, it's just like, nah, you know, it kind of go off it a little bit. Probably one of the reasons the Warlock has been the last class I'm covering, and then the Disc Priest, and of course the Sub Rogue I will be doing as well. So, yeah, I've kind of left it till the end. I've had a bit of a break while I've done the other videos, which we'll talk about in a moment. And I'm kind of looking forward to it now. I've had enough of a break. When I logged into the Warlock, I was like, a breath of fresh air. I'm kind of looking forward to doing this. So, yeah, I'm going to be playing it and filming it tomorrow. I was supposed to be going to see Skrillex tonight. Yeah, whoop, 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 whoop. Me and Ghost were supposed to be flying the colours at Skrillex in Manchester. But he contacted me 20 minutes before the show was to start, and they have tweeted what time the bands will be playing. Skrillex starts at 30 minutes past midnight. Now, I don't want to sound like a complete old fogey, but fuck that. I've got shit to do tomorrow. I've got shit to do tomorrow. It's simple as that. I've got to play a fucking Warlock. I've got to play video games tomorrow, dude. I'm going to play video games. I can't be fucking going to concerts at midnight. Are you crazy? So he said, Ghost was with me. Ghost was with me. It's like, dude, I'm not staying up till midnight to watch Skrillex. And I was like, yeah, no. I'm not either. I'm really not. I would rather, genuinely, Ghost come over here, we play some Dead Island, and I look after my dog. That is me. That is me. That is a total nerd in a box, isn't it? Hey, do you want to go out at midnight to a dingy club and, you know, be surrounded by people doing drugs and listen to some whoop, whoop, whoop? No, not really. Maybe in college, maybe even, you know, in university, I would have been well up for that. Now, I just can't be asked. I really can't be asked. Oh, you're on at 20 past midnight? 0 fucks given. See you later. That is exactly, yes it is. 0 fucks given. It was like instant reaction from both of us is, not for me. Not for me. Andy's got to get his kid up in the morning, you know what I mean? He's got shit to do. I've got shit to do as well. I've got to play a Warlock, man. These guys have waited ages for the Warlock. I've got to do it. So we're not going to Skrillex now. Andy's going to try and sell the tickets. Ah, well. 0 fucks given. Seriously, if you're going to play that late, it's a school night, dude. Skrillex, it's a school night. What are you doing? It's a Wednesday or a Thursday, whatever the fuck day it is. So we're not going. So we're going to play some Dead Island later. Maybe we'll stream it, maybe not. I don't know. We'll let you know. Maybe we'll stream a little bit, see if we can get some gangsters together and do some Dead Island stuff. Why not? A nice, fine evening. I'm quite looking forward to what Ghost thinks of the new setup. He's got an entire area to himself. One of the other reasons we changed this around is, of course, to record console gameplay. Yay! We've got some console stuff to do as well. So we needed the couch, and we're hoping eventually. I was supposed to buy a PVR, which allows me to record console gameplay, but then I had to get my dog's nuts off, so that will have to wait. But to get a little TV set up here so we can console and connect it all up to the PCs and the network and stuff, so that should be coming at some point. I'm thinking of actually setting up, because loads of you ask for Let's Play stuff. I've kind of figured I might set up a second channel, or maybe use the Preaching Ghost channel, which will upload Let's Play gameplay type stuff of just being ghosty with a couple of mics playing some games. It's not the stuff I generally want to put on the main channel. I've tried some Let's Play stuff in the past. I always find Let's Plays to be extremely lazy from an editing point of view. And as somebody who likes to produce good videos, I find Let's Plays to be really sort of retardedly easy to do. The most difficult thing about a Let's Play is literally if you've got multiple points of views. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. It's one of the easiest things to do and generally relies on the commentary. So maybe we'll do that, maybe not. I had a little bit of a twist that I might put on it. Yesterday, or Tuesday I should say, I finally revealed the Big Monday video on a Tuesday, and it's only the second one. Didn't I do well? Didn't I do well? I totally, and I didn't release it till 1 AM? Was it 1 AM? So technically it's Wednesday. Yeah, technically it was Wednesday. It was like 1 AM I finally finished it. That's how much work goes into those. There are lots and lots of work that goes into those videos. But yeah, 1 AM. I think I finally managed to get the upload. I was finally happy with the finished product. I made one error. One of the stupidest things about doing those videos is one error means you have to fucking do the whole thing again. Edit that little bit, re-render it all, re-watch it. And I said tier 13 when I meant tier 11. The hardest thing is there are now people, lots of you might even be in the chat, you know who you are, who watch my videos to find a mistake. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. I fucking hate that. It's one of the first comments is, oh, at 8 minutes and 16 seconds you said tier 13, but you meant tier 11. And that's the only fucking comment. Like, motherfucker. There's like 12 minutes of shit going on every 4 seconds. That's what you decided to comment on. Fuck you, man. Seriously, fuck you. The other one was the Frost Mage video. Who was that guy? Are you in the chat? Are you there? Who said, oh, I think it even says something like, oh, 4 minutes and 38 seconds, you casted a Frost Bomb like 1 yard away from your Rune of Power. This will probably translate to all the new players watching this video as awful players. Are you kidding me? I cast, what, 600 Frost Bombs in that video. You looked for the 1 second where I was stood 1 yard away from it. I even went and watched the clip. I cast it and instantly move into the Rune of Power for the rest of the attack. You motherfucker. Fuck you, man. Seriously. I hate that guy. You're such a twat. You are. Your life is bad. Fuck you. So that was the only mistake I made, I think. But the interesting thing about that video, it was obviously the top 5 exploits. You guys have obviously seen this video. How quickly were the guys... how quickly did the guys find that video who are genuinely looking for ways to cheat at World of Warcraft? It was unfucking believable. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It was like 10 minutes after the video went up, people were commenting saying, these aren't the kind of exploits I'm looking for. Really? Are you fucking serious? You are the people who are trying to fucking cheat at World of Warcraft. They found it straight away. They are actually YouTubing WoW exploits on how to fucking cheat at the game. They found that video so quickly. Unbelievable. Let's look at some of the comments. This doesn't tell me how to dupe items. Really? This stuff has been fixed already. Really? I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, oh my god, these guys found it so quickly. I should do a video about how current exploits with just a big middle finger is like, you absolute assholes who are Googling and searching for how to cheat at WoW legitimately. Legitimately cheat at the game. You fucking wankers. I can't believe how many of them were out there. They just like landed. They touched down. Hell, at least it might generate me some good ad revenue from those bastards that are trying to cheat at World of Warcraft. So, not all bad, right? Not all bad. Should be some, maybe I'll earn some money from all these guys who are fucking searching this shit out. Thank you for your ad revenue. I genuinely appreciate it. Question coming from the chat. When is Gadget Zan? Can anybody in the chat answer that question? I made it pretty clear during the web show when that was. It's on Saturday. Is botting cheating? Yes. Botting is cheating. Anything that uses third-party software is guaranteed a cheat. Alright? Just want to put that out there. If you're using a program that isn't WoW to do something in WoW, you're cheating. Alright? That's cheating. Botting is cheating. It's pretty easy. So it's all good stuff like that. The exploits video, some people were arguing that what should have been and should have not been on the list. So let's talk about some of those and why I didn't pick them. The first one was Exodus, the US guild, who have been desperate, absolutely desperate for some sort of recognition in the WoW raiding community. They genuinely believed they should have been world first on a number of occasions. They cheated Yogg-Saron 0. I knew all about it. It was on the list. It was on the list at about number 3. I think I had it at number 3 before I decided to scrub it. I did that for personal reasons. One, I didn't really want to give Exodus any more attention than they deserve. They're really quite nasty people. Or maybe they're not now, but they were during that time. They were very nasty. And they were one of the only people, or one of the only guilds ever who got caught cheating to not say something about it beforehand. Right? They legitimately tried to pull it off as a straight up kill, which it obviously wasn't. They cheated the fuck out of it. I didn't want to give that any credit. Anybody who tried to claim glory after cheating, I'm not a fan of at all. I think that's just really tragic, and it bothered me. For my own personal values, it genuinely bothered me. It was like, don't want to put these guys in a video. I could mock them. I could seriously berate them, but I didn't want the video to be like that. I didn't want any dark overtones on the video. So I kind of thought, I'm not going to give this any more credit than it deserves. Some people might start searching out. I have to be aware that some of you might start searching out Exodus and kills and their website, things like that. I didn't really want to do that. I thought that was a really poor idea. So I scrubbed them off the list. There was a couple of other things that should have maybe been on the list, like the Lady Vash kill. The Lady Vash kill, the world first, illegitimate by Nylon, which involved a Shadow Priest named Luki, resurrecting while the boss was resetting and killing it with Shadow Word Death after they had wiped. Things like that. What did they do? Anybody who's ever done Yogg-Saron or Yogg-Saron 0 will be aware that it's an extremely, at the time, extremely difficult fight. Requires usually 4 hunters for a specific job at the end. But ultimately it comes down to a never-ending spawn of ads. Now, in Yogg-Saron 0, you don't have any of the keepers, which are Hoda, Thorum, Freya, Mimiron. They don't protect you like they do if you activate them, which means that the ads are called Immortal Guardians. They cannot be killed. They are immortal for a reason. In normal mode, Hodir, actually kills them for you. I believe it's Hodir, it might be Thorim, who actually kills them for you. When they get to 1% health, he finishes them off and they get killed. In Yogg-Saron 0, they stay alive. They then become a beacon. 4 of them are selected to become beacons, and then they heal themselves to full health. The way their damage works is the higher their HP pool, then the more damage they do. So at 1% health, they do very little damage at all. This heal is an AoE heal, and so it can heal them all up to full health instantly, and then they just wipe everybody out straight away. The trick is to have 4 hunters, taunt them out of the pack. The ones that become beacons that are going to be healed, they taunt them out, they AoE heal off in the distance, the hunters feign death, they come back to the tanks. Very simple. People couldn't work out how to deal with this fight. A lot of people labelled it as impossible, except for Stars. Except for Stars, who went at it like nobody's fucking business, with all 500 members constantly raiding. And what Exodus discovered was a very tricky idea of eventually, through various tricks I won't go into, of having a Holy Paladin inside Yogg-Saron's brain room. Any of you who've done this fight will know that people get transported inside Yogg-Saron's brain, where they DPS his brain. You could have a Holy Paladin inside the room and not get ported out. It was possible. This Holy Paladin would then put Righteous Fury on to increase his threat and would spam heal himself. He would get aggro on every single one of the Immortal Guardians and they would evade. So they became a non-factor in the fight. Therefore, they could just DPS Yogg-Saron's brain without Yogg-Saron outside without any concerns whatsoever. The ads were a non-issue. They couldn't hit the guy who had targets. It was very, very easy. And they subsequently killed it before anyone else. The thing is, if you're not an amazing guild and have never really done anything amazing in the past, nobody will believe you. Nobody believed that Exodus got this world first. Nobody. Nobody at all. I didn't believe it. I wasn't even in the world first race at that time. I knew they didn't do it. It's just one of those things. The previous guild I was in, Darkstorm, they got the world first on a boss. You know it's not a legitimate world first, although it is a world first, but they skipped a boss. You know that's the case, because you don't just have a guild come out of nowhere and suddenly take world first. It doesn't really happen. They have to have a legacy of approaching that. So when Exodus got that world first, we were like, no, they're going to get banned. But they claimed it. That's why I didn't want to give them that much credit. They claimed it and buffed it and stuff. And plus the other ones were just more fun. The Saronite bomb thing is so retarded. It was the most stupid decision I think Blizzard's ever made. Well, one of. One of. There was no way in hell. The GMs watch you do these fights. They're there. Sometimes they talk to you, sometimes not, but they do watch. They log in on characters that are invisible and they watch you do the encounters. There is no way in hell that Nihilum, or Nahiko, I can't speak for all of Insidia, sorry. I can't speak for all of Insidia, but I can speak on, after meeting and playing with Nahiko, there was no way he would fucking cheat. I just know it. And when it found out it was Saronite bombs, before I read anything, press releases, anything else, I just thought, Nahiko has used Saronite bombs ever since I saw him. And I only saw him briefly while I was in Method, but during that time he used Saronite bombs every single fucking fight, farm or not. He used Saronite bombs, he had stacks and stacks of the fucking things. He used them all the time. He was an unbelievably good player, a ridiculously strong DPSer, and there was just no way. And I felt really bad for him because he was quite a quiet guy, not compared to Protec, who was his friend. Protec was quite outspoken and a fun guy. Nahiko was his friend. Nahiko was pretty quiet, and I felt sorry for him because he was getting a lot of stick. And I think probably some of that stick came from the ex-Method guys, because obviously Protec and Nahiko left Method to join Insidia. They were probably laughing their ass off that their ex-player, a strong player, a good player, not somebody who wanted to leave, caused this issue and got them banned. I'm sure they were laughing their ass off. I don't have confirmation of that, but I'm sure it happened. I felt very, very bad for him. He was a very, very nice guy. Really nice guy. So I had to put that in there to sort of defend him. If you notice when you watch the video, I was quite defensive on purpose, because I know he had no idea. And I'm 100% the guild had no idea about it whatsoever, and they still banned them. I thought that was really harsh. It's their fault. Saronite bombs in DPS rotations was pretty common at the time. Very, very common. Engineers would re-roll to it, not only to have the best enchants and the speed boost, which would ultimately become prime for Lich King Heroic, but they should know this stuff. And if their internal test team isn't using DPS rotations that involve Saronite bombs, there's something fucking wrong there, and they should have found this bug out a long time ago. The other stuff is just more fun though. Like Razor Gore DI, that is crazy. And it's a shame because it's why we can't have nice things like Divine Intervention. I used to get Divine Intervention all the time on my priest. As the priest classmaster and one of the healing officers, I used to get it all the time. And when I was the raid leader, I would never get any repair bills. Somebody would DI me all the time. It was fucking fabulous. I would always get DI. It was so awesome. And other things like that. A little bit of a shame. The AQ one had to be #1. Changing the game files to... when that was announced and we all found out about it, I'm sure there's a lot of you here who didn't play vanilla. Some people claim to be from Overrated in my video. It's the internet. I don't trust most of that. I don't trust most of that. But if you were, rightfully so, you knew you were going to get banned for it, which I really question why people would go ahead with it. I really wonder why. If you're altering the game files, they're going to find out. They really are. Especially if you are the #1 US guild that is clearing knacks. They're watching you. The GMs are watching what you're doing. They're interested to see how you cope with encounters. Of course they are. Doing that is just absolutely bizarre to me. I thought that was so stupid. A lot of things like the LFR one. The LFR one I put in because it was interesting, especially reading some of the forums and stuff that I had access to. I had access to like Insidious forums and stuff like that. Always good to have a lurk. Always good to have friends who let you use their forum accounts. And to read the wars that started over using that exploit. The LFR one where you could... because it was so stupid. They had a legitimate way of doing it. Totally legitimate way of getting all that gear that didn't need cheating. Why bother? This is during the normal mode clear. You've got plenty of time. LFR as a guild, especially the Dragon Soul one, it took no time at all to clear. Even 9 times isn't that much of an effort. It's a day of raiding, pretty much, just to clear it. I found that one so silly. I found that it was totally ridiculous, is that they needed to exploit that. It was totally unnecessary. And on these forums, across all these guilds, there was many members who were totally outspoken about saying, we do not need to do this. It's completely unnecessary. Why cheat? We can do it the normal way. It's fine. We don't need to cheat, but this saves time. Yeah, but it's saving not that much time, and it puts us at risk. Why do it? I don't understand. And when it actually went down, the guys, there was not many I told you so's. When they all got banned and they lost the chance to raid heroics the next week, there weren't that many I told you so's across a number of guilds. There just weren't that many. Some people were really like pissed off. Some people threatened to quit the game. And the big argument was Blizzard is really inconsistent with how they handle exploits. And they are. They're very, very inconsistent. But the previous time we've seen this was Insidia. And they all got banned with the purposeful intention of locking them out of heroic raiding. They should have remembered that and should have not gone ahead. But Blizzard aren't very consistent. But I can tell you now, relogging and exploiting loot, that is a bannable offence. Blizzard aren't going to take that lightly. They are not going to take that lightly. That's abusing the loot system. The loot is everything in this game. Can't take the piss like that. Okay. I want to talk about patch 5.2. Patch 5.2, it's 5.1 now. 5.2 is coming, but they had a wonderful interview with Mr. Ghostcrawler Street. Greg Ghostcrawler Street, Mr. Ghostcrawler. Some interesting things came out of that I don't think are correct, but I could be wrong. So let's get some opinions from you guys. I want to see some comments in the YouTube videos about what you think of this stuff, okay? He had an interview saying what's coming in patch 5.2, and what he thought of various things. So I'm a MMO champion, so I'm not going to read it word for word, but I just want to reflect on a couple of points that I picked up on. His main issue was that in Cataclysm, didn't offer enough for players to do. I think we can all agree with that. Outside of raiding and PvP, there was nothing. Firelands Dailies was an abject failure in my eyes. It was absolutely atrocious. I've never met a more unrewarding series of quests than the Firelands Dailies. Even a normal quest chain that results in a blue was more rewarding to me than the Firelands quest dailies. I remember completing them all and unlocking all 3 vendors, and nothing happened. How much of an oversight is that? How much of an oversight is that? And they didn't do any more daily stuff after that. There were things for high-end players in the harder raids, but otherwise there wasn't much to do. Mr. Pandaria was an attempt to correct that with something to do for all players. I still don't think we've met the target on that, but let's see. He says Pandaria is more of a place you want to spend time. I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like we have to spend time in Pandaria because that's where all the dailies and stuff are. That's it. That is the only reason. I get out of Pandaria as soon as humanly possible. I get out of there and I chill in Orgrimmar. I do. That's just my way of playing the game. Now, future, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. The bonus roll has worked out well. Has it? Has it really? Come on, it hasn't, surely. Surely there's not a sense of satisfaction about the bonus roll system? Really? It's worked out well. Okay, so we got some mate, it's okay. Vudak believes it's good. Mate, it's okay. Wrong, I'm fine with it. Wrong. So, what can we read here? Some people have had really good rolls. Others haven't. That's what I'm seeing. I kind of expected this reaction. I kind of expected about 50-50. Why? Some people have done a shitload of dailies and got absolutely fuck all for it. Some people have done a shitload of dailies and got some good items for it. There you go. I stopped doing dailies so I don't have to worry about it. Hey, it's like the lottery. If I don't play, I'm not that arsed I didn't win. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Loads of people here with I've never won an item. I don't get stuff every time. Good. Well, poor you. I got loot twice yesterday. So some people have got lucky. Of course, when the things roll in your favour, it's the best system ever. I've never thought of a better system than this one that gives me a really good item for free. There you go. So has it worked out well overall? I would predict there's probably a good split of people who've got some items for it. How many items do you need to get before you think this system is okay? The system only works if you win something. The system is terrible if you never win. And there's always Forever Alone or First Day on the Internet kid who, I got a bonus roll, gets 28 gold. You know, that guy. There's always going to be a guy. There'll be a guy who never gets anything at all. I hope it's not one of you, but there will be that guy who detests the system. And like them, if you haven't done it now, we see in the chat right now, if you've not won an item yet, these people are stopping doing the dailies altogether. It's like, fuck this system, I'm not asked. For them, it hasn't worked. For some, it has worked. It's always going to be pretty evenly split. I personally still don't like it. I would like to see more of a guarantee and a more difficult way of achieving the bonus roll rather than just dailies. They say the bad side of it is that the bag, or the fail bag as he called it, is only 28 gold. There needs to be a better reward for not winning. That does go quite a way, actually. I don't think that's a terrible idea. It does go quite a way to alleviating the anger of using your bonus roll, getting nothing. 28 gold is fuck all, right? We're all agreed. 28 gold is nothing, and it certainly isn't worth the effort of attaining one of those coins. More Valor gear, blue BOE gear, parts or mounts, gems. I'm quite good with gems. I think gems is pretty good. I always liked getting the gems at the end of the Oculus. Any of you used to do the Oculus in Wrath of the Lich King, if you did the Oculus on random, you got a bag full of gems. I made a lot of money off those bags because I could shit all over the Oculus. I could piss the Oculus. I could solo most of the fucking Oculus. So it was no big deal to me whatsoever. So I used to get gems. I was more than happy with to get a bag of gems. I thought that was awesome. I never really had any issue with the Oculus, and when I was in a guild group, it was fine. It was no problem at all. So that was pretty good. I was more than happy with that. People would like some rare stuff coming out of here. He wants brooms. Stuff that's like... I don't think bonus rolls could work for stuff that's from yearly events. Novelty items, though, are wonderful. Ghost loves getting his Landshark stuff. The Landshark missiles. I think that's pretty cool. Getting little novelty items, I think, makes people quite happy. As long as there always seems to be that dog shit item that you don't want. Like getting all the candy. I don't really want all the candy. I want stupid, fun stuff. Landshark hole. Stuff like novelty stuff is brilliant. We've talked about this in the past, having novelty enchants, things that turn people into clowns, all that kind of stuff. I would love things like that turn people into pandas and shit like that. All just good, fun stuff that you could debuff your friends with. Perhaps you have to be in party and it can't really troll them. That fucking wand that turns you into a bat that can't do anything, that kind of shit isn't fair in my eyes, but there you go. There's no immediate plans to add artifact items. Careface, it doesn't fucking matter, it's a colour. Justice points will be more interesting. Transmog of legendary items. Now, for today's video, I couldn't do a great deal of work today due to Ben, but I've done the video on Mogit. I had to play around on Mogit for a few hours, mainly because I couldn't do a lot of talking without having to stop Ben licking his wound, as it was. So they're thinking Transmog of legendary items is still under debate, but it is likely for the future to allow this, which means get your asses in Black Temple, get your asses wherever you need to be, because you're going to be able to do this soon enough. And if he says it's probably going to happen, it's going to happen pretty soon, probably in patch 5.2. So he's pretty confident that they're going to let you do this. They're going to let. I can't see why not. It's kind of silly to have something like Transmog and have the coolest. I spoke to Ghost on this. I was like, what is flat out the coolest weapon in the game? And he was just instant. The Warglaives of Azeroth. There has been nothing ever designed that is cooler than the Warglaives of Azeroth. They are just so good. There's no debate. There's no question. They are just so fucking cool. And to have them sitting in your bags like I have, it's disappointing. I would happily transmog every weapon I had to a fucking Warglaive. Although I predict right now, the day this comes in, you will see a shitload of Warglaives. You will have a lot of fucking Warglaives around, because there are a lot of people who've got them now. Pretty much everybody. Thunder Fury, it's debatable. I still think Warglaives look cooler than Thunder Fury. Thunder Fury is great. It does look a bit tired now. But there will be glaives everywhere. It was when Transmog first came out, everybody was in tier 6. There's barely a shield wearer these days who doesn't have the Bulwark of Azeroth. That's just one of those things. It's such a standout item that everybody wants it, and you can't blame them because it's fucking cool, right? And the Warglaives are the coolest items in game. I'm more than happy to agree with Ghosty on that, as much as it pains me. They're so fucking cool. Of course they're the ones that are number one. Shadowmourne? I think Shadowmourne looked dog shit, I've got to be honest. Besides the proc, the Shadowmourne proc is what made that good. The axe itself, I thought looked absolute dog shit. I thought it was a terrible looking axe. Compared to the proc is what makes it. The proc is what makes it. Sulfuris has always been dog shit. It's a fucking terrible mace. Raids, this is interesting, okay? Raids may not see progressive nerfs this time around. There are multiple difficulties and a catch-up mechanism. It is likely that raids will not get any easier until patch 5.2. Patch 5.2... You know what's wrong is the catch-up mechanic. It is. It's fucking... The catch-up mechanic, why do we want to go and do Mogashun Vaults? Terrace on the Spring, Heart of Fear. Why do we need to go there? You've got a catch-up mechanic. Why do I need to do it? LFR of whatever the new raid is, which they're claiming is going to be Ulduar style? That is a bold motherfucking statement, right? Ulduar is probably the best dungeon ever made. It's probably... It is. It is better than Naxxramas. It is. The original vanilla Naxxramas. Ulduar is fucking amazing. The next one will be like Ulduar. Now, either that means it's going to be super awesome, which I am wary of because I've done Algalon. It is not super awesome. Or it's got a lot of bosses in it. That is what that fucking means. That is what that fucking means. There's two fucking statements there. Either it has a lot of bosses. Well, yeah, it is Ulduar style because it's a big place with a lot of bosses. Or it's Ulduar style because it's amazing. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I am always wary about what Blizzard considers amazing. Anybody ever do the Theramore scenario? Yeah. Yeah. The new Herald of the Titans title. Jesus Christ. But they're not going to do progressive nerfs. I don't think you should nerf them at all. And I don't think you should do a catch-up mechanism. It'd be a good way towards pushing raiders to actually bother with the older content and not just wait till they can smash it. Patch 5.2 might make lesser current charms less valuable to discourage hoarding and the need to farm them before the patch. One idea being considered is not allowing upgrades of 5.2 gear until 5.3. Pretty good. I don't think we need people constantly upgrading gear. A lot of raiders are seriously pissed with the Valor upgrade system. They don't need it. They raid the hardest content in the game. You know what I mean? This Valor upgrade shit is just fucking retarded. Classes. I just wanted to mention this briefly. This is the most amazing thing to me ever. Maybe Vanish can comment on this. I believe he's in the chat right now. There are more, currently, Retribution Paladins than there are Rogues. Why is that? Rets are cool. There's no doubt about that. Is it coolness that's overriding everything? Rogues are cool. but rets look really cool. Execution sentence, get fucked. I said this in the videos. I said this in the fucking videos, right? Paladins in general are one of the most visually appealing classes ever, if not the most. They're superb. Their spells are just awesome. Everything about the Paladin is really good, besides the playstyle, in my opinion. They just don't play very well. But rogues are always good. Rogues are always good. But again, we've spoke about rogues being sort of like the vanilla. Rogues are still rogues to this day. Are they starting to dwindle down? Is that the reason? Are there not a lot of people rolling new rogues? Or is this purely from PvP? Rogues haven't been particularly strong in PvP this expansion so far. I'm sure they will be. And a lot of people just dropping away from the rogue because it's weak in PvP. There are more than enough people spamming battlegrounds and arenas all day trying to become the next superstar. Vanish, who I know was a very high level raiding rogue, he comments, "We feel weak. We really have to smash the keyboard to keep numbers all right." Maybe Ghost could drop some comments on there as well. I don't know if he's still in the chat. I agree. A lot of chat saying rogues are really fun. They are. I would say they were far more fun than a Ret Paladin. But a Ret Paladin just looks cooler, is what I want to say. Ret Paladins do just look tremendously cooler. Monks are the classes that need the most work right now. Hey, if you're a monk, expect to be changed a lot for the next 2 expansions at least. That's how long it took DKs to really shine. They did okay in both expansions, but were up and down and hit severely by nerfs and buffs either way. Shit, look at the mage, right? Still working on that. Mistweavers have been very difficult to balance. Work on that is still ongoing. Healing and DPS monks are also unrepresented in PvP, which I'm kind of shocked by. I don't know if the monk DPS spec, after talking to a guy who's recently re-rolled to a Windwalker monk for PvP, he recently told me that they are extremely powerful and he's doing very, very well in arenas with the Windwalker monk. Is it a case of they haven't really found their niche with players, or they don't stand out enough in order to be tremendously represented? I think PvP representation is one of the trickiest things to try and judge. I think whatever someone like Rekful or fucking Soda Rolls will be whatever people are playing. Oh, Rekful's a warrior now and not a rogue? See ya! Bye, rogue! Go away. If he's done it, we're all doing it, right? Balancing is difficult. Yeah. Dungeon Finder Raid Finder features are now expected in every MMO. They're kind of claiming they do it first. This is the only bit that was final this that I thought was quite interesting was that Ghostcrawler would personally like to add a more social aspect to the game, where you could enter Stormwind and find more of a community rather than anyone standing around at the auction house. Very, very super easy solution to this. Super easy to create a community. Mini-games. Mini-games. Mini-games throughout the cities. Good mini-games that result in probably... I would like to see some sort of fucking gambling going on. I would. I would like to see some gambling going on. I would like stuff like that. But I think it causes a lot of problems across countries. With gold. People just bidding gold on... Spectating is fabulous. We've seen that with the Brawlers Guild. That Brawlers Guild is now swarmed with people. But I would certainly love to see a lot of mini-games in the cities... and people able to not only spectate them, but able to wager some gold on it. I would fucking love that. I would like to go and do that and win some gold. And bet on your favourite player. Oh shit, Preacher's fucking turned up. He owns I don't know, fucking football or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? The twisty one with the football. Foosball. He owns it, the foosball game. So I'm going to put some money on Preacher. Oh, but Ghost is here and doing that kind of stuff. Loads of little mini games. Blizzard's done it before with the sunflower stuff. It doesn't need to be that involved. It can be super fucking easy. Just 1v1s, whatever, you know, 2v2s, little tag teams going on, or, you know, little guild things. Just stupid mini games. And that area would be fucking flooded. And you want a gold sink? That's your gold sink right there. I would absolutely love to see something like that where you could wager it and just spectate it. Just click up your gold. Really easy. 10 gold, 1 gold, minimum bet, whatever it is. How many people? We go to the casino. When was the last time we went to the casino? I think it was for Emma's birthday, which would have been in February actually. So shit, that's 10 months ago was the last time we went to the casino. And it's a minimum £1 bet. So I take £20 to go to the casino. That's it. That's my limit. If I come out with more, I win. If I lose my £20, that's it. But I'm not that worse off £20 down for a night out. Anyway, for a night out in Manchester. And Yeah, it's good. £1 minimum bets. It's flooded. The place is absolutely flooded with people. And it'd be create a much more social thing. Because instead of looking for the best raiders or the best arena guy, you're now looking for all sorts of other mini heroes. Everyone wants to be the hero. Everyone wants to do it. Let's create mini heroes. It doesn't. People would be more than proud to be the best foosball player on the WoW servers. Of course they would. Make it cross realm. Shit. Cross faction. That would be awesome. Cross faction. I would love to fucking see some Alliance versus Horde at fucking foosball or whatever, or the thing where you smash the fucking disc, the ice hockey thing. All that kind of stupid shit. That isn't a lot of programming to put in. Probably for the gambling side. That would be a lot of stuff to do. But you would like to go one-on-one with people in a non-PvP sense, because you can get ganked. It's not about class balance. It's not about any of that kind of stuff. It's not about, oh, well, Rets are OP. Soggy Bicky. My man Walkie, you're a dirty guy. Dirty guy. Mini-games, cross-faction, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just stupid shit. If you can't put in gambling or whatever, spectator mode would be more than great. Nice little spectator screen to see what's going on. I think that would be fantastic. And get your own little mini heroes going on. That would be great. Have I got any questions before I go? I'm going to upload the Mogit video now. And then I'm going to go see my little dog. So if you've got any questions. DPS races for gold. Only if a DPS, someone suggested a DPS race while questions come in. DPS races wouldn't really work. Very gear dependent. And also it depends how long the DPS race is. Because people's cooldowns all line up differently. So you can have, say, a mage who gets 5 arcane powers off compared to only 3 combustions. You know, stupid shit like that. That really sort of rock them out. Challenge mode equally geared. I do PvP at the moment. I'm doing some. Hello from Scotland. Hello to you. I believe it's snowing up in Scotland now. I believe the snows have hit you, depending on how far north you are. But I think it's hit all of Scotland now. Yeah, fuck DPS races. They're terrible. I spoke about the Warlock videos earlier. I have the Warlock. I've been on it today. I'll be filming all day tomorrow on the Warlock. So don't you worry. I'll try and get the first video out on Friday, and I might just release them Saturday, Sunday. I need to free up some time to do the next Monday video. I don't know whether to do votes on the Monday video, either via Facebook, something like that. I don't know. Did you guys like to vote? I have a ton of ideas. It's whether or not which ones you want to see next. I kind of had next Monday's video. I'm still not completely decided on it. I haven't scripted it yet, but I might see. I might see. Voting sounds good. Coming out soon, TM. I quit WoW because PvP is messed up, but I'm still watching you daily because you're fucking awesome. That's awesome, dude. And hopefully maybe one day I'll say something that gives you that inspiration to give it another try again. I'll just try a different aspect of the game. That'd be really cool. Best MMO bosses. Do you want to see the best ones? I've got a few ideas about the 5 best movies to watch while leveling. That's always cool because I'm such a movie buff. I'm a very big movie buff, actually. I watch the worst movies ever. I have a thing. A lot of people have things like Sky Television and cable, stuff like that. Well, that's a bit expensive for me. It's like £50 a month or something like that. I can't really justify that for fucking TV. But I'm kind of thinking... I use something called BT Vision. I don't know if any of you use that. BT or British Telecom are the phone providers across the majority of the country. But they do something called BT Vision. It only costs me £6 a month, and they give me free movies. A selection of about 60 free movies every month. I watch the shittest movies on there. Oh, I've never heard of that. Let's watch it. Oh my god, that's awful. That's terrible. I will give any movie a chance. I think it's pretty awesome. Netflix is shit over here. I'm sorry. It's really bad. Ghost has tried Netflix. He really turned me off it. It's dog shit over here. Yeah, and the other video, I was either going to do the 5 best movies to watch while leveling or the 5 most overhyped bosses in MMOs. Quick scan before I decide. I've seen Teeth. It's terrible. Vagina Dentatis. Vision's pretty cool. It's faster than Sky. I use... Ghost has Sky TV. It's terrible. It's absolutely fucking awful. Movies, overhyped bosses, movies, bosses. What do you think about Vanilla Private Server? I wouldn't go near it with a fucking infected dick. Vanilla was terrible. Movies, I'm leveling. Bosses. Battlefield Earth, seen it. Bosses. So you want both? Okay, that doesn't help me much. Maybe I'll read the YouTube comments. Yeah, well, I will read them anyway before tomorrow. Movies. Okay. Worst leveling zones. We want it all. Oh, a lot of people are saying, can't you extend the list? Top 5 is fine. The only reason I don't extend the list, I just remembered I'm filming Way of the Warrior on Saturday as well. I'm going to be busy. Is because of time. I would gladly do a top 10, a top 20. I would gladly do all that stuff. I would, but it takes me like 3 days to do the top 5. If I had like a week, something like that, to work on one video, I could easily do a top 10 or whatever. But the reason it's top 5 right now is it's a nice time. It's a nice time of creating. So pretty good. Top 10 WoW classes. Top 1,000 movies. Yeah, exactly. It's time. It's just. It's not possible. It's not possible. All down to time. I'm getting there. Don't worry. You want the other World of Vlogs video as well? I'm working on it. All right, guys. I'm off for the evening. I'm going to go see my dog. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Drama Friday. Hopefully, someone sends me some good drama stories, or I'm really going to have to ham the fuck up out of the ones I've already got, which will still be funny anyway. So I'll see you tomorrow. Be good.